Welcome. Okay, welcome to Role Play Cafe. Dale here. We've got this is session 14, I believe,
15,
of
15, I think.
15 of the Alien RPG. Uh
27?
yeah, with Dune playing Yoko, Todd playing Windows,
Yep.
and myself playing Dr. Butcher. And John's leading this through this adventure as GM. I'll kick it over to him now. Take it away, John.
All right. So last we left off our crew trying to decide what to do with these refugees that have escaped from the children of the two divine and their leader, Mother Michaela, who has just so happened to land up near this crashed ship and has spoken with Dr. Bircher, who is there by himself, well, with Dudge, one of the NPCs. He's the pilot of the crew. And Dr. Bircher introduced himself to Mother Michaela, and they are trying to remove something from the crashed ship in addition to recovering the refugees that escaped. And where we left off last time was the revelation that they appear to be removing some egg-like cocoon from the crashed ship in a cage, and are transporting it through an elevator they've constructed over an hour or two uh, onto their dropship, which is up at the top of this plateau. And during the conversation that Dr. Bircher had with Mother Michaela, they came to an arrangement that after this was transported, she would submit one of her men to a basically a medical uh, investigation by Dr. Bircher so that he can get a better sense of who is with the children of the two divine and who is actually a survivor of the ruined Dylan colony. So they are kind of crowded around this cocoon as they transport it to their up into their dropship. Uh, they seem to be doing this very carefully, uh, and Dr. Bircher, from where he's at, can see that Mother Michaela is barking orders uh, and directing them and basically overseeing the transportation with great care as it's brought into the ship. Several of them come out after it seems to have been loaded into their dropship, have a quick discussion with Mother Michaela, and then two of them are headed towards the PC's dropship by themselves. They've been ordered there by Mother Michaela. Dr. Bircher can only assume that they're coming there to submit to his medical exam. Dr. Bircher, are you going to?
Sorry.
That's
I
okay.
had to mute for a second. Yeah, I was
No
saying,
problem.
it's staying there. Yeah, I've been eyeballing this. So whenever they approach, I, with a wide smile on my face, and walking out with a halfway gesture, like of entrance into the, up the gangplank into the ship. Welcome. Yes, come inside. Uh, and which one of you will I be examining?
Uh, they kind of look at each other for a second. They say, "Whichever you like." Mother Michaela has offered you both of us. You may examine both of us if you would like. And he's
Excellent.
looking around, and they're looking around. Um, Kind of, you almost see that they look impressed by, uh, by this dropship, as though it's much more advanced or in much better shape than what it is that they are used to.
Okay, since I've taken notice of this, I will make a point to make more sweeping gestures and there is yes, this is an amazing technology. We can uh, look into the the organs in your body and the blood. You have nothing to worry about here. We're quite sophisticated in our technologies. You will be safe. This is done with great care, and I'll prattle on like that as I'm walking up the gangplank and kind of gesturing toward this. If you just follow me, and I'll find a place to secure them, um, and then start doing some basic, break out the med kit or the examination kit, basically. Um,
Okay. Yeah, and they follow you and seem to comply with everything that you're asking. Um, they so what I mean, you didn't really disclose specifically what you wanted to test with Mother Michaela. Why don't you just kind of give me an idea of what it is that you want to uh, find out about them, and we can determine what sort of role we're doing.
well, since I've been, examining the people there in the colony and repairing the wounds or whatever like that, and I have blood samples. I've been privy to their information about their general health and wellness to kind of get a baseline understanding of how healthy these people were on this
Okay.
planet here in these ruins, and to see where they were deficient in vitamins, the whole 9 yard general health, right? To where I could kind of point them in a way that would help them, see if they were irradiated, etc. Now I'm
Right.
just going to basically take these two and run them through through that too, and do a comparison of what I know. You know what I mean? If they're
Okay.
And
suffering in the same manner, or if they're healthier, or if they've
Yes.
got any kind of synthetic or cybernetic or DNA manipulation, etc.
Okay. I'm going to give you some basic information for free,
Okay,
but let's do an observation roll and see if you're able to get anything really juicy. Two successes. All right.
sweet.
So I'm going to give you the free information and give you some clues, and you can ask me additional information about,
Gotcha,
maybe specifics or something that I don't even cover.
gotcha.
All right. So these two men are in very good physical condition. They seem to be well fed. They obviously do some sort of either physical labor or physical training because they're fairly muscular and very lean.
Okay,
They do have some sort of residual radiation uh, that is rather distinct. I mean, it's not unique, but it is certainly something different about what you picked up, both from your tests of the people at the previous colony, what you've experienced at the mother colony, and certainly what you've seen here at the Dillon colony.
okay.
You've also noticed that each of them seems to have some sort of ritualistic scarring on their back, almost as though maybe they've been flogging themselves, or someone's been flogging them. Uh, but there are both uh, obviously scarred markings from long ago, and rather fresh ones that have started to scab over and may only be like 4 or 5 days old.
Ah, okay. So it's basically layered up. As far as if we're ready to move on to the questions specifically,
Sure. Yeah.
um, I don't know if of course like I said before, I was worried about contamination, and bringing anything back to mother colony or the spread of it amongst these
Right.
outlying colonies. So I don't see the worm that we had and the toxins and the other alien examinations I did. Is there any
There
kind of crossover DNA wise or anything with
no,
these?
you're in your blood test, you see no remnants of the DNA or and no, physical signals that there is the contamination that you saw, from the worms.
Okay, okay. Well, in the second question, I can get two, right?
Yes.
Okay, the second thing is, with Bircher's excited manner of telling them about the ship and the medical abilities and et cetera, I would transition into, while I'm doing this examination, kind of give them a psychological examination, especially since I saw the scars or whatever like that, to see exactly to what their beliefs were and the brainwashed state and this
Mhm.
mother Michaela, how they saw her and what kind of community, where they're from. So just a basic general uh, kind of overview of their cult or what, what have you.
Okay, so you're basically probing them for some more information as to, maybe what these scars are, and if Mother Michaela is responsible or tells them to do it, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, if they do it to themselves, or what how
Okay.
basically how much of a devotee are these people? How dangerous are they? In other words, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Or if they could be
So
reached otherwise.
one of them seems a bit reluctant to respond to the question, but the other one quickly speaks up and says, Mother Michaela guides us and teaches us. She teaches us how to prepare to join the perfected. Only
Okay,
those who have been greatly honored are allowed to join their ranks. And the whippings are part of the purification process to ensure that our minds and spirits are prepared.
got you. Okay, I will play along with this. Oh, honing of the will. Yes, this is good for one to develop these, you know, skills and blah blah blah. I'll be doing that, but obviously with little pauses and quizzical looks as they go about it, but and little side eye glances over to Dutch. But getting a little view of them, I'll wrap it up and thank this and declare them fine specimens of health and vigor and all that stuff as I'm walking out. And as soon as they leave, I want to get on the horn and pull up Yoko
Okay.
as
And
we're watching them.
and as you say that and tell them what fine specimens they are,
Yeah,
they seem quite proud of themselves, as though they are excited to communicate um, your grading to Mother Michaela,
yeah.
and
Well,
they go ahead.
I've been preoccupied with examining them, and as they're walking away, I'll look at Dudge and sigh, and
And he just
cur-
shrugs
cur-
his shoulders.
no, I curse myself because we still don't know what that damned egg is, or what that thing is. I'll be damned! I didn't even ask them.
I'm, I'm not
All
sure
right,
I want to know what it is. Dodge this.
okay, and then I turn around and flip the comm on and pull Yoko up. Yoko, are you
And
there?
Windows, unless you're ignoring
Yeah,
Windows.
Well,
we're
you
all
know
we're
what I
both
mean. He's
here.
not my favorite. He's gained somewhat a little bit more.
I
You
said
know,
we're here. Yes.
Oh, that's on my computer.
we're oh, yes. Okay. Well, Yoko, um, I'm glad you've got some company here. I have the same in Dutch, but I just did an evaluation of two of Mother Michaela's uh, disciples. It seems that they've came from off world. They dredged up some kind of uh, cocooned egg shaped. Uh, it seems organic to some extent. It doesn't look inorganic.
Well, maybe that's what they were looking for. Are they still? Do they still seem like they're pursuing the refugees that?
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. That's. I told Mother Michaela that I wanted to examine some of her men so I could distinguish and differentiate them between what she refers to as the rabble that live on this planet. She has no interest in them, and I would suggest that she would care less about their life.
Doc,
And
did they see that you saw the pod or egg or whatever that was?
I did not mention it to them, and perhaps I should have,
Any chance you get a
but
closer look at it?
but it seems that I could. I'll look outside the viewport. They're still there, right, walking away, and are almost back to the
Yes.
ship.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I might need to do that. Admittedly, I didn't. It slipped my mind about asking about the damned pod. I was so enthralled with examinations and looking at them. They seem like very healthy specimens, though their process of self-flagellation.
They're what?
They whip themselves
Mm,
whip
Okay,
to
all right.
to according to them to strengthen themselves, to join to elevate themselves in Mother Michaela's eyes. So she obviously does not view she only views the ones that try to attain this with any worth whatsoever. So I've seen the brokered some kind of uh, initial acceptance from her in the fact that she probably views me as a tool to help her find and intermingle with the locals here and help her find and just determine which ones are her children, as she calls them. But yeah, I will let you go, and I'll see if I can chase them down and see if I can get a pick on that pod, as it were. It's a good, and I'll see if I can examine that.
Mhm.
Yes, they're getting further away. I'll see if I can catch up with them.
All right.
Butcher out. I'll click it off and head down
All
to
right.
Gangsbank.
So let's cut over to Windows and Yoko and find out what is going on at the camp.
All right.
So we're going to pick up quickly or shortly after the meeting with the three executives has ended, and you can make a plan and
Was there
figure out what you want to do next.
were there people? Were there observers during their discussion?
Oh, observers
Like the
during your
townspeople or
meeting.
whatever? Like
Oh yeah, they were all standing around
okay, they were
watching.
all there. Yeah, was there any kind
Yes.
of reaction?
Well,
from the
well,
crowd?
I'm sorry, not
Not
the
virtually.
not the entire village or a camp wasn't there,
Uh-huh.
but it was primarily the people that live in the in the immediate area around where the meeting house was.
Okay.
So it was more of those well dressed and well taken care of members of the camp.
Okay, and did those
I can jump us back over there so
yeah,
you can see.
Yeah.
At the Nabo area people?
Yes, exactly.
I'm just curious. So they each of the three kind of propose a different plan or strategy for dealing with us and for dealing with the refugees, right?
Yes.
And so my question is, did the Nabo people, did the people show any kind of like reaction to those suggestions as like one being more favorable, or are they just equal, or
Uh,
murmur?
yeah, I mean, it seems from what you heard, you know, people discussing during and after the meeting, it seems like the opinions are pretty diverse. You haven't actually probed any of them
Right.
to find out maybe if there's large groups of people that are leaning one way or the other. But the people that were immediately standing around you, um, there's several people that agreed with each member of the
Okay.
executives, and others just seemed kind of, uh, I guess, unconvinced by
Okay.
any of them.
Cool.
So can you remind me the three, there are 3 points of view on this?
Yes. So there are 3 NPCs, each of which are called the executives.
Right.
One of them is Vidon, and he thinks that they should, uh, keep the refugees here, help them, and integrate them into the camp and become one of them. And thinks that they will be able to provide them with knowledge of, the galaxy off planet, and perhaps eventually be able to leave this planet again, either through repairing their ship or something along those lines. And then there is Dazuma. She feels that they are a danger and are going to attract unwanted attention from outsiders, and they should be either killed, released, or just gotten rid of at first opportunity. And then the last one is Yen, and she feels that they should be leveraged. They should use them as, some sort of, uh, some bargaining chip to get something of great value for the camp, whether that's from the mother colony or from Mother Michaela, who she doesn't really know who that is, but she knows that these people are running from, but she's willing to just turn them over to get something of great value to the camp.
Oh, okay. Hmm. All right.
If I recall, I feel like the executives, or the cliff dwellers, were vaguely open to giving us the refugees, like just to get rid of them, or was that only like one of them saying that, and then now Wheeler talking about it and not really.
I think you when you were speaking to I want to say it's Kyle, that
Oh,
you're getting these names mixed up. Sorry, give me just 1 second.
Our local guide, right?
Yes, your local guide.
Either Kyle
Whether
or
that
Evan.
that's Evan. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Kyle is the guy who was injured back at the camp. Evan is your guide. Evan has basically explained to you that, I mean, the refugees are quarantined because they don't know what to do with them,
yeah.
and most people wouldn't care one way or the other if they leave, because they're basically just taking up resources and are quarantined off from the rest of the camp. Most people are concerned about their own survival, rather than these additional people who are taking up resources. Um, but that he's just a guard. uh, but he might have a better sense of what the people feel than the three executives do.
Okay, so they feel that they're a stress on the resources, a strain on the resources, limited resources.
Well, Windows, I'm
Okay.
glad that Dr. Bircher's keeping Mother Michaela at least busy for a while. I think whatever his line of inquiry and testing is doing a good job of delaying them from making any progress at finding their refugees. I think we need to talk to the refugees to find out what they. I mean, so sorry. You know what it was? The refugees really wanted to come with us. Maybe it was them that told us that. Not the
Oh,
Yes,
not
yeah.
the
So
cliff
I
dweller
said that.
camp people, not the
Yeah, in the
executives.
recap. Yeah, so the one refugee that you spoke to, he came up to the fence
Mm-hmm.
that separates them from the Malbo area. Um, he seemed very intrigued by what Yoko explains the mother colony to be,
Yeah.
and thinks that it will be the protection and uh, the salvation that they need from being on the run and living in squalor.
Okay. Well, Windows. I think I agree with. I think overall I agree with what Vidon was saying, that we ought to help and integrate the refugees into the mother colony, just as Vidon imagines them working here. Um,
mm-hmm.
our colony's mission is a little bit more open, and I think our people and our leadership will be more open to taking in people who would be able to help. It seems like there's some leadership here that is not interested in such things and only wants to use people in other ways. So I think we need to talk with the executives and talk with the refugees and see if there's a way that we can come to an arrangement where they come with us. And it doesn't seem like Mother Michaela is the best place for them if they're running away, but maybe we can find out if that's
Well,
what they
I
want to
I
do.
agree with you. I think the other two points of view are just going to lead us into guaranteed conflict for sure.
The other
Um,
option is we just leave them be, file our report, and report back to the mother colony whatever's happening here.
yeah, you want to do that? You want to? I mean, I might be able to do that, but I don't know.
I
You
think the
want to do that?
refugees want to come with us, but that would require us being deceptive with Mother Michaela, and that's the key here. Do we want to make an enemy, or would we rather
Well,
keep?
if we go with Zuma's opinion that they're a danger and should be gotten rid of, we're going to make enemies. If we go with Yen's plan to use them as bargaining chips, when they're finally used as bargaining chips, we're going to make enemies. So one way or the other, we're going to make enemies. Who would you rather be enemies with? Colonists or now? Wait, at this point, have we seen Mother Michaela?
No,
No,
No. Okay.
only Dr.
but
Bircher
we did
has.
hear a report that she's a synthetic with.
We did hear that. Okay. Well, there we go. Right. So, or do we want to make
Or
enemies with
I
a skin
believe
job?
that Dr. Bircher told us that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather take my chances with the refugees than with trying to
Okay.
cozy up with a skin job.
Okay. Well, surely we will. Then we should protect the refugees. We need to tell Dr. Bircher to keep them distracted um, long enough for us to. Um, I guess we have to get the refugees back to our ship.
I guess. How many people are we talking
Yeah,
about?
how many people are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, you're not entirely sure. There's about 10 set up.
Hmm.
There could be, some of them could be empty. Some of them could have 3 or 4 people living inside of them.
And
Um,
and we were already short on rations. I'm pretty sure we don't have enough food to feed everyone for the whole trip. I feel like we were already
Yes,
talking about
that
rations
is.
before we even came here.
Oh,
Um,
you mean back on the main ship?
on our ship to get to back to the mother colony.
so
On the
I,
Solovetsky
I mean,
Island.
right. So I mean, people only consume food if they're awake.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, how many can we put to
so
sleep?
yeah, so
No
I mean, if
problem.
you put them in hypersleep, they won't take up any food.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But you have uh, 126 days of food like for one person. So um, basically 126 meals left.
Yep. And the
Um,
trip is like 10 days or something. I don't remember. 15?
I'm
okay.
sorry, 126 days worth of food, I should say, not meals.
Days per person, so 126
Yeah.
person days of
Right,
food.
Yeah.
right. So one person, you have enough food for one person to stay awake for 126 days.
Uh,
Or 126 people to stay up to be fed for one day.
For one day, exactly. Right.
oh gosh. And we have a 15-day trip back.
I don't remember the exact number.
I think it's only 6 days. That because three of you were awake. Yeah, I think this trip is shorter than the previous one.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, and how many refugees have we got? I guess we have to find that out.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, it could be
And
anywhere. I mean, it could
yeah,
be. There's more than the one guy you talked to.
right.
You probably guess there's at least 6 of them, but there could be as much as 40 or maybe even 50 if they're really packed into those camps
And
or
would
into
I
those
know?
tents.
Would I know how many cryo chambers the Solovetsky has?
Yes, there are only 25 cryopods, including the ones that were retrofitted into the
Nice.
dropship.
Might have to fit 2 in a pod. I hope you're comfortable getting intimate.
Well, you know what we could do too is you could stagger people in and out of the pods.
It sounds
Yeah.
complicated, but you could.
I know, but I mean, you're not going to get all. I don't know how many. We got to find out how many refugees we got.
Yeah, musical pods.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to save food. You
It's
could just have the same people awake
it's
the
gonna
entire
be
time.
confusing.
So,
Well, it's 6 days.
Um,
Well, worst case scenario, maybe some of them would become food.
okay, so after the
Violet
executives have their meeting, the
it depends what
executives
that
have their
egg
meeting,
is.
right?
Oh,
I'm sorry?
okay.
So the
The
executives
executives,
had their meeting,
they,
didn't
they,
come to any
they have their,
conclusions,
that's correct.
and
Yep.
then are they like looking to
They're
talk to us
willing
again?
to. I mean, they've basically left the meeting house. You could certainly track them down individually, but they're no longer together. So if you want to try to convince some of them on some
No, I'm
sort
just
of,
surprised they didn't
go
want
to
to
some sort
like
of
talk to
direction.
us. I'm surprised they didn't like have their meeting and then report to us on what they decided because they didn't actually decide anything. So that's just at a meeting. This is just like the real world. Have meetings that don't accomplish
Yep.
anything and then
Yep.
go home for the day. Good day work.
That's great.
I mean, you don't know what the normal process is for this stuff because you're a visitor.
Yep.
But I mean, you can approach them individually. You could go to each of them and request another meeting to make your case even further. It's up to you.
I think what we need to do. So here's what I want to do. First, let's go back to the refugee camp and see if we can talk to them and count them. And then after we have a good sense of what we think is we can come up with what we think is a good plan, and then go find Vidon and talk to him.
Yeah. All right.
So let's go back to the refugee camp and see what they're doing. Is Evan still with us, or are we just free roaming the streets of?
You're pretty much free roaming. I mean, you could probably track them down.
No.
Pretty
Don't need them.
easily.
I wanted to know if we were
okay.
Yeah.
No, you're not being escorted or anything like that.
Okay.
All right. I just got to step out
All
for
right.
a moment, and are you going to switch over to Doc Butcher? Or
Are you going to be gone a while? If not, we can
no,
just
I'm
take
just
a
I'm just
quick
gonna
break.
just get Sam
Okay,
off.
let's just take a quick break,
Okay.
and we'll pick up with your discussion with the refugees
Okay.
when
Back in a
I'll
second.
get back.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
I hear you're back.
I am back. Yes, I am. Oh, I came across an old comic book. Well, I would more like a comic strip artist named Frank Godwin on the weekend. His artwork from the 1930s to the 1950s. And I'd never heard of him before. I'd never seen his work before. It was really cool though. Just that kind of old inking style, from the early part of the last century, that you never really see anymore. Just brush, pen and ink, brush and ink, kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Really neat, really neat. Yeah. Now.
Okay.
Please.
I don't know if all of that was recorded, but
It was not. I muted.
oh, it
I
was
took
not.
that
Oh,
out because
okay.
we had a bunch of
Okay.
personal stuff in there. I didn't record that. But we're on. We're on now. It's recording.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So let's pick up with Yoko and Windows meeting with the refugees. As you approach the fence, you see, uh, Yoko recognizes the same person. Notices the two of you approaching and follows you up to the fence. And he says, "Have you spoken with the elders? Is Have you arranged for our release?"
Unfortunately, we don't have any conclusions yet. The elders seem to be in disagreement about what they want to do. Um, we, however, we are on board entirely with trying to gather the lot of you and bring you to the mother colony for integration and protection. We understand that Mother Michaela is quite uh, vigorous in her search for you. So we just need to find out some more so that we can present a good plan to the elders. They don't seem to have their own. They don't seem to have their act together in terms of making a decision.
I'm
Yeah.
willing to provide you whatever information I can.
Can you remind us how many of you there are to be released and evacuated?
Unfortunately, only 14 of us survived.
I'm
Okay.
sorry to hear that. But our ship should be able to accommodate 14 windows?
I think so. Won't be that bad. Yeah, as we imagined.
Oh, we're willing to help where we can. We don't expect to be given free food or be freeloaders.
Food is not something to be hoarded by the few. Food is for all.
And you see his eyes go wide when Yoko says that, as though he's astonished that those words would come from anyone's mouth.
Shall we? Okay, so
Yeah.
14.
14. We can
And
do
are
14.
you all in good condition to be able to walk and dress yourselves? Basic functions, or is there anyone in need of assistance?
There are a few that are quite weak, and a couple that have some injuries, but we can manage them. We'll be willing to carry those and support those who we must.
Okay, this is good. Do you have any questions, Windows? What do we need to know so that we can propose to the executives, the elders, to
I don't really know. We got 14 of these refugees. It's not much, I mean, I don't know why this is causing them so much stress. I mean, it's just 14 people. Are their resources that strained?
Uh, I mean, it's not necessarily the number of people, but might be the fact that they are from another planet, and who knows what knowledge that they have that could become useful to them, or what dangers they might bring by simply being here.
mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I don't know. Let's just try and plead their case, I guess, for them.
I'm okay. We shall go to. I think we should go to Vidon with the honest truth and see if maybe Vidon has an idea of how to get through to Yan Yamada and Zuma, because he knows
Okay.
them better than we do. Do we know where how to get in contact with Vidon if we wanted to?
Uh, I mean, this isn't a huge place. I'm sure you could ask around and track them down pretty easily. We wouldn't need to really play through that.
Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, we'll just go pay Vidon a visit. I think because we want to. We he shares our vision as far as I can see.
Mhm.
Um, and we definitely want to help this camp, but if I do have some concern that especially with Yen Yamada's perspective that they might try to make a deal with Mother Michaela, and that concerns me.
Oh, you mean that one of those that executive Yen?
Yes, based on what she was saying earlier at the meeting house, I think she would be very happy to sell these poor people out um, for whatever she thinks they can gain.
Mm-hmm. And might do some backroom dealing behind everyone's back. You know.
Yes,
Mhm.
this is a concern. So let's talk to Vidon and make sure that we can get through make sure that we can get through to them.
Okay. All right. Let's go
We'll seek
find them.
out Vidon wherever
Yeah.
Vidon happens to be.
Mhm.
All right. So, asking around a little bit, you learn that Vidon, along with Yen and Zaduma, all live in the Enclave.
Oh,
And this, along with several assistants that they have, this is uh, basically the accommodations of the leadership. And he may be found in um, the largest building, which is on the edge here, or he may be in the roundhouse, which is where the executives have their the council between, or not the council, but the discussions amongst themselves when decisions need to be made.
okay.
All right.
Do we have free passage to cross the bridge from Nabo to Enclave?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we'll just wander over there.
Let's go.
All right. As you pass the roundhouse, the building is wood and stone. It is it's not ornate, but it is very intricately assembled, as though they put great care into it, much more so than even the buildings and the homes amongst the executives and their assistants in the enclave area. As you're passing through, you can see that Zaduma and Yen are arguing uh, amongst them, between the two of them, as you are headed towards what you've been told is uh, Vidon's home in the corner here.
um, if we hear anything from the argument, great. But if we're not, I don't need to like stop and eavesdrop or anything.
I will.
Okay.
I tell Windows will. Good job, Windows.
Oh, I've got to tie my boot up again. Oh, keeps coming undone. I'll crouch down
All
and
right.
do my boot up and see if I can hear anything.
So Windows hears a argument about reports of another ship arriving and whether or not it's a danger or a possible asset of someone who can be bargained with.
Uh, this is Tazuma and Yen are arguing.
Yes, inside the roundhouse. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I will move on.
Okay.
pass that on to catch up with Yoko and say, hey, there might be another ship showing up, and Zuma and Yen are arguing about what to do with it. If it is worth using them as bargaining chips as well.
So they know Mother Michaela's here. This isn't good. I'm just gonna jump the conclusion, or and I'll just assume that they know this. We ought to. That makes everything a lot tighter. So far we've been honest with everyone. I'm afraid that if we want to protect the refugees, we may have to be dishonest with the people here, even.
Right. Well, gotta do what you gotta do. All right. Well, are we gonna go talk to this to the Don there? See if we can at least get him on our side.
We'll see if he's home. Knock, knock, knock.
Okay.
You hear someone, from within say, he seems to be talking with someone, and he says, I'm busy. Is this urgent?"
I'm afraid it might be Executive Vidon. I assume he recognizes my voice.
"Oh, yes, come in.
We'll let ourselves
I'm
in.
willing to talk to you."
Yeah, we'll let ourselves in and close the door behind us. Who's he talking
Yes.
to now?
You see that he's talking to an older gentleman who is. Can you see that? Can you see Leonard Lespera show up?
Leonard.
No.
NPCs?
Let me just share the artwork. I tried to force it to pop up for everybody. So you should now see Leonard Lespera.
No art. I don't see the art. Didn't load.
Wait,
There
here
it is.
he comes.
Just under NPCs.
Yeah, it's loading in.
Okay.
Hold on.
I don't see the picture, but I see Leonard's sheet.
Yeah.
And he seems to be quite comfortable around Vidon. He is not in some sort of, he's not standing at attention, or he's lounging relaxed in a chair next to Vidon, obviously having a not an intimate conversation, but a relaxed and informal conversation.
Oh, excuse us. Very sorry to interrupt, but I believe things may need to happen quickly here.
Oh, I'm willing to hear what you have to say. I've heard rumblings of yet more visitors that we're having. We're not used to the simple refugees here, and now we seem to be getting more than our fill.
Well, this could either be the gift or the curse you've been waiting for. This is. There's no question in our minds that this ship holds this new ship is the search crew searching for the refugees that have taken harbor in your encampment.
And this man, Leonard, speaks up and says, you believe it is this Mother Michaela that the refugees speak of?
Yes, we actually have confirmation that it is. Our people, our ship, the ship that we came here with, our ship has made contact with them. They were unresponsive, I believe, by ship to ship signaling and communication. However, we were able to find them where the refugee ship had crashed, and our people right now are delaying them and keeping them from coming here because their intentions are not good.
I think perhaps you are right. If these refugees are fleeing from these people, then I don't think that we have the resources to protect them. And he turns to Leonard and says, or he turns to Leonard and looks to him for, maybe some direction or counsel. And Leonard shakes his head and says, "We have enough infighting here. We don't need to fight outsiders as well. I am inclined to agree that perhaps turning these refugees over to someone who is in a better position to protect them may be the best thing." And Leonard looks up at you and says, uh, "Is you spoke of this mother colony at the meeting house earlier? Is this someone that would your colony be willing to barter with us and perhaps give us or trade with us in order to provide something that's would improve our lives here?"
Absolutely, there's no question in my mind. Our mission from the beginning was always to support and unite the colonies, the Spinward colonies, and uh, I think our priority now needs to be making sure that there is absolutely no evidence whatsoever that the refugees were ever here. We will do our best to try to evacuate the refugees out of this camp, and you must promise us that you will not reveal to Mother Michaela that you know anything about the refugees. And I think this is our best course of action. That way, um, we can bring them to safety, and Mother Michaela won't harm you or anyone here. Hopefully.
Uh, and you see Leonard turn to Vidon, looking for his response. And Vidon says, "You you have my support, but that is a tall order, and we're going to need the cooperation of Yen and Zaduma to make this happen. They have the ears of too many members of the camp to keep this completely quiet. We
Do
don't
we even
know."
have the time to do this? This
We
is the
just
thing.
we just we just heard Yen and Zaduma at the Roundhouse. I think we should go there immediately. Again, very sorry to interrupt whatever you were doing. I'm sure it was important.
uh, I Perhaps it is time, and uh, that Leonard says to Vidon, and you see um, a look of concern come over Vidon as to what it is that Leonard might mean. But he shakes it off and says, "Let me speak with them and see if they're willing to invite you in for the discussion. We need to make a decision quickly." And as the four of you leave Vidon's home, we will cut back to Dr. Bircher. Dr. Bircher you know, after he did his, medical examination of the two children, or of the two children of the two divine,
Yeah.
uh, they uh, they returned to the ship and began breaking down all of the like the elevator and all of the equipment and stuff that powered it, and repackaging it and loading it up into the ship. um, I mean, he imagines that this would probably take a good half hour to an hour based off of how long it took him to set this up. Is there anything that I mean, do you want to stay here for this? What do you want to do as they're doing this?
No, I'm walking. I'm walking and approaching them in the
Okay.
same, non-threatening manner, with arms wide, and waving, and my my comrades. Mother Michaela, is she about? I wish to speak with her. Maybe I can offer
Yes.
her some of my services to aid in her
Yes.
cause.
They point you to uh, the ramp that leads into their drop ship. You should find her just inside of the ship.
Okay,
So
I pause for a
she's
second. Yeah, and
she's quite busy preparing our search.
I thank you. I'll try to make it brief, um, and then I'll nod at her at them and head up the gangplank into the ship. So, um,
You see Mother Michaela directing some of these men as they bring in boxes of the equipment, uh, and she's having them stack things around. You notice behind a group of these crates and stuff that they're bringing in, you recognize the the metal cage-like container that you saw the cocoon in that was brought onto the ship. It's about 30, 40 feet in further into the ship in the cargo area and surrounded by some of these metal crates that they're loading.
okay,
Michaela turns to you and
okay,
says, I believe that the two men I sent your way submitted to your medical evaluation.
yes, thank you, Mother Michaela. It's very informative. Quite, you know, virile specimens. And then I'll kind of glance. But I've come here to see if I could provide more aid. And I'll immediately kind of step toward the egg or the pod rather. This this thing that I noted that you brought up. Um, would you need me to examine it and perhaps give you you know readings on it? Anything that I may be of assistance with, and I'll walk around it. But I want to get a first impression of it. If it's organic, see if it's pulsating, et cetera,
Uh,
whatever.
yeah,
Any
so
dimensions.
yeah, you can't quite see the cocoon itself from where you're at right now. You just recognize the top of the cage. So I mean, you assume it's inside of there, but the view is obscured by the crates around it. Uh, Mother Michaela says, I do not need your assistance with this. This is a holy relic that is quite important to our people. We know it quite well and do not need any of your examinations.
Yes, yes, but of course, I just wanted to lend my assistance if you deemed necessary. What I all I could do, a holy relic indeed, on this planet, such a find for you people. Um, and
It was
I'll go on being
taken by
trustworthy.
it was taken by the refugees inappropriately.
Okay, I will blanch at that and kind of get wide eyed and lean back. The thieves, they stole it from your from its home world.
I do not know if it was intentional or if it just happened to be on the ship that they took, but I would be interested in tracking them down to find out. We found none of their bodies on the ship, which leads me to believe that some of them may have survived.
Ah, well, yes, Mother Michaela, as you understand, I took my evaluations and I've evaluated some of the refugees here. I can see there's a difference, as you reported in their makeup. Um, Quite the specimens here, so I should be able to intermingle among the people and give you word back if I discover, uh, you know, any uh, any of the people amongst the refuge. I mean, any of the refugees amongst the people here, the indigenous people here.
I would appreciate that assistance. We did make note of several small settlements, and once we're finished here, we're planning on performing a reconnoiter to see if there's any sign of our refugees in these locations.
So they seem to have taken me to me somewhat well. Of course, I did not know about these refugees to ask in the first place, but I have been aiding the indigenous people here with medical care. So I am in a perfect opportunity to, you know, to ascertain whether your refugees or thieves
Oh,
are amongst them. If you could give me
what?
some kind of communication device or
Oh, perhaps you would be willing to accompany us during our recon. Your knowledge of these locals may assist us in our search.
is intriguing. I would think that perhaps, and this is of no offense, but they seem to be a bit timid, and I'm no imposing figure to them. I'm not necessarily a threat, which they may recoil from, you know, from being too open about what they know. Should they tremble in fear at your, you know, your people's might?
They should
So
tremble in fear.
yes, but perhaps a subtle hand uh, is needed. If you know, upon your grace's leave, that I could relay word back to you since I'm already integrated with the people. Uh, should I bring you here? That
Well,
way, I could perhaps work from that. And we do have a ship, um, you know. But I would hate to think that these refugees, these thieves, would be amongst these indigenous population here. So
right.
if perhaps if you deem it, you know, fair-minded enough, we could follow along those lines of approach, and I could I could preliminarily scout the area, and at
All,
least to a point of divide and conquer, as it were.
all right. Let's. So she's not completely opposed to what you're suggesting, but why don't we do a manipulation roll and get a sense for how um, I guess how positively she's responding to what you're suggesting. Um, it's not necessarily if you fail this role that something bad is going to happen, but more like we're going to establish whether or not she is going along with your line of thought. All right, so you got a success. Uh, I assume you don't want to push, but you could if you want to, if you want to try to get more. Del, yes. Del, you're muted. Did you
Dell.
maybe you had maybe you had to
Maybe you stepped out.
maybe he's talking to somebody or okay.
No, sorry,
Oh,
I
okay.
couldn't bring up that. Anyway, no, I'm approaching. I don't want to push. I'm approaching her
Okay.
timidly, appealing to her. Of course, you know, I'm giving her all the credit for
Right,
her
right.
idea, but
I suppose that we could uh, go our separate way. I want to investigate some of these smaller groups along the outskirts of the jungle and also get a better sense for what exactly is going on at uh, the the power plant that is running I'm sorry, it's not power plant. It is, what is the word I'm looking for?
Air purifier,
The
isn't it?
atmosphere processor.
Processor, yeah.
I want to get a better sense for what is going over there because we got some unusual readings when we arrived. As for your ship, I am well
Excellent.
aware of the ship that you have in orbit and what it's capable and what its capabilities are, both in defense and benefiting us. So
Well,
take
yes,
this
strictly
communications.
in defense. We're not an offensively, you know, minded expedition. Um, as I said, so you have no reason to feel threatened by us. I don't know why you would. And I do this looking very confused, like going down that avenue or that line of thought. Like, how could you conceive us to be a threat? Obviously. Anyway,
I will I will admit that your cooperation may benefit us, and I will have one of my men uh, give you our communication frequencies so that we may stay in contact as we begin our search of the area.
excellent. And
Do you have a proposed area that you would begin your exploration with your compatriot back at your dropship?
I would I would expect that I have to return to where I just left. There's a little encampment right on the woods edge or the forest edge. Um, I have heard words that there are um, vile creatures inside the forest. So it seems that most of the uh, human inhabitants live on the edge of the forest and don't delve too deep in for the dangers. I would think that if you're, no matter how capable your refugees are, if they did delve into the forest, they may um, increase their likelihood of expiring, as it were. But I should continue my humanitarian aid along the sides of the forest, as the refugees would have been warned of these dangers too. The people seem very uh, forthcoming with the dangers. As I say, they're timid, so um, they do tend to shelter up together for protection. Um, so I
Very
should be
well.
able to to see any standouts as the refugees, and I do have uh, a good, thankfully, that you afforded me the opportunity to evaluate your crew. A good basis of understanding what I do need to look for if they are disguised in any. So I'll if you give me you know the information communication wise, we will set about doing that, and I will keep you updated and relayed toward any findings that we have.
Very well. I will have one of my men give you the communication information, and once we have finished loading up here, we will head head to the atmosphere processor and begin our investigation, and then circle around and to the east and south of the ruined colony. I We did notice some plateaus sticking out above the jungle that seemed quite interesting as we landed. We may follow up uh, once we've finished around the southern perimeter of the colony and investigate there.
Fine. Excellent, excellent. I'll be that as I said, traversing through the woodlands is dangerous for them. So whether or not they could have populated the cliffs that you speak of um, would
I
seem you know, but the first most obvious places they could have landed, well, that your refugees could be from where they landed, would be moving south along the wood line. And that's in the direction that we're heading. And perhaps we should meet up there after you've did your evaluations and headed south.
Yes,
See what
we will keep you up to date once we have completed these other areas of interest. I'm intrigued at these creatures that you speak of that are living in the jungle. I may be interested to investigate those as well.
yes, yes, they seem a frightful sort though, cannibalistic and very uh, feral. But and I have yet have not encountered one, but I've been told about their fierce manners. But we'll do that, and yes, let's reconvene southward, and then uh, maybe go to the plateau after that.
All right, she agrees and dismisses you and
Okay.
tells you to speak with the man at the bottom of the ramp to acquire the communication frequencies.
Okay, I'll do that, and if I'm not hindered otherwise, I'll head back to the ship.
Okay.
I do get there, and I can just relay the information to Yoko that it seems Yoko and Kip. And it seems that there's she refers to it as a holy relic that came with the ship,
She's
and she
talking
said,
about that pod.
"Yes, the pod." But she said she found no evidence of the refugees that had left. She doesn't know if they purposely stole it or if it was just on the ship whenever they took it and left. But obviously, they're escapees, as it were, since she seems to have a hold on these her followers that do
Curious.
VTs.
We could ask the refugees about this. I mean, I would guess that it's not something of value if they didn't keep it with them, unless they were um, imprisoned by the natives before they had an opportunity to handle it. But at any
And,
rate, we have
and
some good connections with the refugees here. We can ask them about that relic.
indeed, I definitely follow up on that. I have spoken with her in in effect that we're working cooperatively toward rooting out the refugees that she is searching for. I told her that I was heading southward along the edge of the forest, and the tribals have seem to stay there as they don't want to get deep into the forest.
So
And I will try
so
to suss out the refugees and meet her south, but she's heading toward uh, the oxygen generator,
okay,
and then
that's
south along we're supposed to meet. But I would suggest that you find an outlet before she heads. She did mention the mesa
this is
before
good.
she
What This is
heads
good.
there.
We need to delay her as much as possible. So it's good that she's going up to the air, the atmosphere processor. If you could, our priority now is to make sure that the natives here don't reveal to Mother Michaela that the refugees have ever been here or have made contact with the natives.
Is
But
Uh,
that's exactly what I'm doing as I'm heading south. You know what I mean? I'll see if
Perfect.
I'll suddenly see if they have if they've encountered him, and try to
Very good.
properly spread the caution. But
With
also, you need to know that she's aware. Mother Michaela told me about that they know everything about our ship, uh,
Yes,
the Solovetsky, and its
understood.
capabilities, defensive and otherwise. So
I have a feeling we have another dropship, right? We have two. Is that correct? Yeah, I'm not
Uh,
sure.
they're while they're not really drop ships, they're more like
Like a shuttle, like a what's that
scientific.
called?
And yeah, they're
Oh, there's a scientific thing, and then there's like another thing.
yeah Yes,
Okay.
there's like a repair ship. Let me. We can jump over to the Soldetsky and
I'm just curious because I want to know. Like, I think it might make sense to deploy another one of our shuttles just so that we can start evacuating these people without using like
so
while
there's
keeping Dudge and Dr. Bircher on task over there.
I think we should
right.
just send over the infected in a cryopod on a drop ship to their ship.
Well, the infected aren't the
Yeah,
infected aren't on your ship anymore. They're on. You transfer them to the mother colony.
Yeah.
yeah, that's too bad.
So there's
Wait.
there's the re-
I'm just wondering, like, why aren't we just trying to get the refugees and get the hell out of here with them? You know?
I think that is what we're trying to do. We just have to do
Oh,
it
okay. It just
without.
seems like we're taking a chance, wanting to keep their existence a secret from
Well,
Mother
so
Michaela. We don't
this
have
is a
time for this.
we don't really have time, but it's a protective measure that I'm making because I don't doubt for a second that if Mother Michaela knows that they were here and the refugees want to, sorry, not the refugees, if the natives want to, the natives will tell Mother Michaela, oh, just go to the mother colony. That's where they are. And that's what I'm concerned about. I don't want the natives to say, yes, the refugees were here and these people took them away. These are their names and this is where they live.
Yeah, ultimately, I think is what I'm wanting to do is I'll keep her busy tracking down the home thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean,
Yeah, you
and
keep them
provide a
busy.
smoke screen for y'all where we can get the the refugees off on the ship. But if we can, with that trust, if we need to, instead of this ship gunning us down in space, if we can't get away, we do need to sabotage it in some way. With if I have any
Very good.
um,
Yeah,
you know,
that's a good plan. And
yeah,
the other reason we can't just take them and leave is because we need the blessing of the cliffs dwellers because they have custody of them, and we can't if we just steal them. Then I mean we could, but and we would, but also that's not going to do us any favors in terms of them helping us to avoid the wrath of Mother Michaela in our mother colony. That's how I'm looking at it, or that's how Yoko's looking at it.
yeah. Well, I would say whenever y'all secure something, let me know, and we can detour whenever we want to make the thing. You know, whether by night or whenever.
Yes, whatever.
And
Yeah,
Dudge, come over there. We pick everybody up if we can do that off the mesa, or if y'all may
yes,
have to trek to where I am, and we convene, and then we lift off and try to get out
perfect.
under some kind of a guise with Mother Michaela. Giving her some misinformation, and then we can try to get out of the system.
That sounds like a good plan. We need to. Right now, we're focusing on getting the permission of the elders, the executives here to let us take the to refugees, and then and you are on a delay and sabotage mission.
Yeah, you just need to. Yeah, if I we can't breathe a drop ship there, uh, you need to take the refugees and meet us as we head south somewhere. Yeah,
Maybe what we could do, if you, I don't know, this is just a proposition. If you want, we could try to send Windows. Like, you could bring the dropship over here, pick up Windows, take Windows over to the air purifier, atmospheric processor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Windows can take a closer look, and also you can work together to try to sabotage and delay Mother Michaela. That's a possibility. If Windows is more interested in dealing with the atmospheric processor, because he's good at that.
but she
Uh,
didn't trust me to look through these right now. So, you know, I mean, letting her know if the refugees are any of these in any of these little colonies on the side of the forest. So if we find them, I mean, I would hate to think what she would do with the people if we left. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
She might eradicate if we try
I
to
mean,
leave
that
out.
is a possibility too. I mean, so far, Mother Michaela has not demonstrated any hostility toward us or the natives. But I am I'm just letting you know, Dr. Bircher. I'm giving the impression that they are very hostile and dangerous.
Oh yes, psychologically, the people that were following her, like I said, they're devotees. They would give their life in the service, and she seems very flippant toward the people's here. And she's so anyway, yeah, she's a dangerous thing.
Okay, we're gonna get the
So,
refugees. We have to find out what Yen and Dazuma.
well, there's no place to land on the mesa, so y'all might have to foot it and trek it south as I'm working my way southward.
We may have to.
I don't know if you want to travel in day or night, but
Well, we don't have a choice. We're traveling as soon as we possibly can, as soon as we get
Okay.
permission.
That'll work.
So yeah, Yen and Dazuma is still arguing.
Yes. So as the four of you start heading towards. Oh, actually, well, before we do that, I just wanted to. You guys had talked about bringing down a second ship, which is why I activated the Solovetsky Island. So there, you have two additional ships. You have this science boat, which could technically enter the atmosphere, but it's more for doing investigating like astronomical phenomena and you know and basically doing things in space. But there is also a relief boat, which is specifically designed for bringing supplies and stuff down to colonies, or even ships that are adrift or something and need assistance. So your relief boat is probably your best shot for bringing another ship down, because it is more designed for both cargo space and for coming down onto into the atmosphere and landing on the planet.
Okay.
All right, let's go back to Dylan. Or no, wait, we want to go to the camp. All right, we only got a couple minutes left. So the four of you begin approaching the roundhouse, and just as you're about to enter, you see what appears to be a look that is got from Leonard to Vidon. If you both give me an observation roll, you can see if you pick up on what this might be. All right, Yoko got one success.
Hold on.
Kip got it, one success, but he is going to panic. So you realize that he is probably going to go. That Leonard is going off to do something, and Kip has the feeling that it is going to cause either a commotion, violence, or problems. And you see Leonard kind of breaks off from the three of you, gestures towards a few people that were standing around this building, and he heads off towards the Nabo plateau, doing God knows what.
That was Leonard doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
He's gonna go rally the workers.
So the three of you step inside, and the arguments. You hear a few snippets of the argument between Yen and Zaduma, and it seems to center around whether or not they should turn these refugees over or throw them off the plateau. and they just stop when they see Vadon and the two of you inside. And they say, "Oh, I see," or Yen says, "I see you're already uh, making better friends among the locals here. I'm assuming that you've come to convince us as to what action is most appropriate for us."
You assume correctly. There's no time. If you want your city and the people of Delon Colony to survive what's coming, you have no choice but to listen to us.
Well, this building is designed for listening to one another's beliefs. So please go ahead.
We are going to um, we're going to take the refugees off your hands. It sounds like you have one mind to um, push them off the cliff. This will be just as good for you. We will take them. The most imperative thing for you is that you do not reveal to Mother Michaela that the refugees were ever here. If she finds out they were here, she will kill you all. I'm totally lying.
Okay, so uh, they seem so. Zaduma doesn't seem particularly against this idea. But when you say that Mother Michaela is going to kill them all, they seem a bit confused. So why don't you give me a manipulation roll, and you can see if we can convince them of the actual danger of Mother Michaela.
Damn it.
All right. You drop an item. How's that going? We're going to work that in.
Sorry, Windows.
I'm not the item you dropped.
I'm going to say that we'll kind of work that into the cliffhanger that I'm going to set up in just a moment.
Okay.
So you you start explaining the dangers that Mother Michaela poses, and that if you take if your group takes the refugees, you just need to deny their ever being existing here, and they don't seem. Yen doesn't particularly seem concerned about the danger that you're selling Mother Michaela to be.
Mm-hmm.
And they start. There's some back and forth as you try to convince them, and that's when you hear some screaming and yelling and a large commotion coming from behind you in the direction of the Nabo Plateau. And as all 5 of you get up and look outside, as you see a large group of people with various weapons and lit torches moving from the direction of the refugee camp towards the top of the Nabo and the bridge that leads over to the Enclave. And that is where we're going to stop. Oh, and Yoko is going to...
I don't know if I have anything.
Yeah, what are you going to drop? I'm going to say that in the commotion that you're going to lose your communication device.
Okay.
That allows you to stay into contact with Dr. Bircher and and
Dr.
potentially
Bircher, I need to get it refitted.
if you guys get separated.
Okay. Great. Now Dr. Bircher's gonna have to talk to Kick Windows.
Oh boy. All right. So since we're going to be gone, we're not going to be playing next week.